Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
I am really, really tired.
I feel it in my legs, surprisingly.
Surprisingly,
Well, when I was in the military, a 3-mile run was a joke of a day of exercise.
oh, well,
That was a long time ago, though, Tim. So I'm feeling it. I am sore
so
and tired.
we are so proud of these shirts that we got from the 5K.
We almost didn't get the shirts, by the way.
So, Steven, why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, there was just a mishap, Timothy.
So I kind of no. This is what legit happened. I signed us up online. It was kind of weird, and I was telling Steve I was irritated that I had to pay so it was $15 if you signed up before, early.
Right, which we did
You're right.
try to do.
Yes, and then it was $20 a day of the race. So I was like, okay, we'll signed us both up. Then I was kind of mad because it was like a $2 fee or something. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why am I paying a fee or whatever? So we get to the race, and Larry Flint was doing the check-ins and giving out the I don't know, what do you call those things?
The bibs.
The bibs. I don't know. I'm not a runner, but I am now apparently. But he's handing out. He's like, I don't see your name on here. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So we paid the $20, and then they're like, well, the shirts were for people that pre-signed up, and luckily at the end there was some extras, and I was like, Becky, I really need 2 of those shirts because Steve's kind of mad because
I wasn't mad. But I understand because when I was getting Nikki's registration done, remember I was like, "What the heck happened? Why isn't it going through?"
it's so weird.
It was a double click scenario. There was a weird situation.
So in the future, for any of these things, I'm just gonna go to the rec directly and then have Beth sign us up because I don't want to do this again. So we competed and we finished the 5K. We were at 42:47.
Yes,
We did not beat the Chief.
did not.
Not even close. He did it in it was 17 flat or almost 17, 17:05 or something like that. He was doing a 5:30 mile. We were, I don't know, was it 13 something?
I know this much: when we reached the 3/4 return marker, he was already there when we got there.
Yes.
Already out. He was already almost done when we were just.
At the end of the show, Andrew had recorded a bunch of stuff for us, and I think Alicia did some too, and we did a few jokes with the Chief, and we'll play that at the end of the show so you guys can see it. But I literally high-fived the Chief by the Oak Street Cemetery. He had already been down the hill. He had gone around the corner. He had gone out the Greenwood Road, turned around at the bridge, and was headed back to the finish, and we were just at the water station. So... But it was a great time. I'm so excited to say that we raised $455, which we'll be matching. So that's $910. The whole time it was like, I was like, Steve, why did I get us into this? Steve, why are we doing it? And Steve's like, we're doing it for charity. And I was like, yes, we were, but oh my goodness, I don't think I can finish. It was very, very cold. Like it wasn't like the temperature weren't bad, but it was windy. And I had my tank top on and stuff. But of course, after I beat Chief through the bridge, because you'll see that on the video, I did beat Chief. And to be honest, like I don't know what 5K is. I thought it was beat Chief through the bridge, and I won that.
You did.
I did, and there's proof of that. So I say we call the race right there and call them up, say I beat you, but that apparently is not how that works. It was a great time though. Definitely, you guys need to come out next year, and it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
There was maybe 60, maybe 60, a few more,
75, somewhere around there.
Yeah, there was quite a few people. We weren't last.
We weren't.
That was important. I kind of took off real fast at the beginning.
You don't really have a mid speed because even when we were doing our walk jog, you did not know how to jog. You started sprinting like you did at the beginning, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm not going to be able to keep up with you, and you're not going to be able to maintain that for as long as we'd like to, just because you were going so hard. So we're going to have to work on figuring out some different paces maybe for you.
Yeah, because when we were coming through the bridge, I was right next to Chief, and Chief said we were doing a 4:35 mile, and I kind of laughed, and that was the end of that. And then at that point, I was so out of breath. I was like, oh, I kind of screwed this up, but it made really good
But
video.
it might have helped us too, because Chief normally probably wouldn't start off running that fast. So
That's true.
he was
That's
making
true.
sure that he stayed with you, even though he knew that you weren't going to be able to maintain that speed throughout the race
And it's funny, like,
or the
because
walk, run, race.
yeah, I like to brag on him and stuff. And so Officer Marvin and Officer Stark were there, and so Officer Marvin was up the top of Oak Street, and then yeah, Stark was at the bottom of the hill at the corner there at Greenwood. And man, I tried so hard before the race. I was like, Marvin, can I borrow your handcuffs? He's like, well, first of all, why? I said, well, I need to slow the chief down. I need to handcuff him. And he's like, we can't do that. I'll get suspended. But I'm like, but the chief says that you guys are really short staffed. I don't think he can actually suspend you. And he was kind of thinking about that, goofing around. And then as we were running, I was like, listen, the chief's on his way. He's like right there. I will give you $100 to tase him or pepper spray him.
Didn't work.
Wouldn't do it. I asked the officer at the bottom, Officer Stark. I asked her if she would shoot me because that's how I felt at that point, and I was just about to go up the hill. Yeah, and Steve's still like, "Oh yeah, all right, let's go," and I'm like, "Can we just jump in the river for a minute?"
Well, it sounded so refreshing too.
It did.
It's running nice down there. That was a peaceful run, even though that hill was kind of brutal.
The hill was very brutal. When I first got us into this whole deal, I used to live on Corbin Road. Andrew had a house on Corbin Road. So they used to come by all the time, and there was like a little circle out in the road. And I know they'd get water at the cemetery. And I always thought they turned around at the cemetery and went back, and they started down near the airport, which I think they might have. But then when PJ was here, he's like, oh no, you go down the hill and you go to Greenwood. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then we're going down Greenwood. I haven't been down Greenwood in years. Like, what, they moved the bridge? It felt like it was forever.
It was a
away.
ways down there.
It was crazy. So you'll have to check out the clips at the end. Once again, thank you so much for everyone that donated, and it's for a great cause. And we'll have some stuff some pictures and some video probably from that once we give the donation. Hopefully at the school board meeting on Thursday. Once again, really, thank you very much for donating. It was we did better than we expected. We honestly I never at least expected it would
I
be
want to thank
the Chiefs,
everybody
but
that donated.
yeah, let's thank everyone. So Carrie Greenwood, Andrea, my mother-in-law donated. Your father-in-law donated. Big Al, Miranda and Victor Stark, Corey Beard Sewer and Drain, Kellyville Power Sports, Hometown Appliance, Ed Gregory, and is that it?
I think so.
I think that's it. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. And yeah, we'll be matching that, and
Now we'll try to get some video. We're gonna check to see how the donation works, if it works out.
yes,
right
we need to make sure. So we're planning on donating it to the school for the snack program. As we talked last week about kids that some kids that don't know when they're going to get their next meal, and we just want to make sure before we donate that it may be one of those things where you have to, like, oh, I'm sorry, but it has to go in the general fund, and we won't do that because we're not just going to dump it into the school's general fund.
Yeah,
so
we
want
it to go to the kids.
Yes, it has to go to the kids. So we'll figure that out, and we'll keep everyone informed how that works, because we want to either have some pictures like presenting a check to Patrice, or however we'll work those details out though. But we definitely gonna make sure that's
yes,
how we want it to go.
Right.
So there's so there's another 5K on June 25th, which it's at 10 o'clock. Horrible day to do it. I still haven't figured this out, and I probably will ask someone at some point, because the Wings and Wheels is the 25th, which is going to be big this year because it was pretty big last year, and so it's a car show, fly-in, like it's going to be an awesome time. We already planned on going down there, walking around with the camera, talking to some people and whatever. Right. Now it's like, oh, there's a 5K that day, and so I haven't decided to drag us into this yet or not, but
yeah, we need to look at all the timing.
Yeah, and if we're going to do it, we have to practice, and because we have to do better.
Yeah, we can do better than that.
We can do better. I kind of feel bad because Steve would have got third in his age group. This guy that was literally with us the whole time, we kind of going back and forth, and Then kind of after the Oak Street Hill, he got by us, and then like Steve's like, I think we can catch him, and he was probably like 500 feet ahead of us. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't. And he was like 40 minutes flat, and we're like, so it was really close. And Steve's like, I could have got third place, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I was the anchor that day.
Nah. We finished as a team, though.
We
as a
did.
team. I was using that as motivation. It just turned out that he ended up being in my age group and got third place and got a nice cup out of it.
And you know the funny thing is that guy probably does these things all the time, and we're like, I think we could.
I think he's with his son. His son.
That's right. His son did very well.
His son left him just like Zeta left Nikki.
And we went back and forth with a mom and her 6-year-old a few times, and then when I was editing the video together, I'm like, we beat them too by like 2 or 3 minutes or something.
And the mom was using us wearing the tutus as motivation for her daughter. She's like, you're not going to let those men in those pink tutus beat you. I heard her say that, and I was like, I wouldn't let us beat you either.
It was so much fun, though. So definitely check that out next year. Now let's talk about something exciting. This week, we're giving away a $50 gas card. So do you want to pull up the rules so I don't mess this whole thing up?
Yes, let me pull them up here.
It's really simple. You have to watch the show. And all right, so you have to watch the show. So every day this week, during the show at some point, we'll have the word of the day. So what you're going to do is you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. Real simple.
Right? Not everybody has Facebook.
Yes, yes. If you don't have Facebook, yes, correct. If you don't have Facebook, you can, as long as you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Yes, you're right. Thank you for saying that because you don't have Facebook. So how would that be fair to you?
Keeps me sane, by the way.
That's very true. So what we're going to do is we'll have a word of the day, and then you need to either email us at the Tim and Steve Show NH at Gmail, or if you have Facebook, message us privately and just say what the word of the day is. You can either do it every day or at the end of the week when you have all 5 words, send it to us. And what we're going to do is we're going to put how many people, and hopefully have a lot of people that have the word of the day. We'll put your name in a hat, and we'll literally right here on the show, we'll draw it out, and then we'll connect with you and give you a $50 gift card. And the only thing we want in return is a picture with us to show that, hey, we give a $50 gift card.
Do you actually watch our show?
Yes, that you are one of our 30 listeners, I think we have.
No, we have more than 30. We're getting up to about, well, the last couple of videos are a little slow, but I think some of that's because of how late they got published. And
yeah, so we got a plan now that about 10 o'clock is when the show is going to come out.
In the AM.
In the AM and not the PM, because that is where it's been lately. And then obviously none of our immediate family are eligible because this is for our listeners. So,
And we know our immediate family listens more than...
Right. So your wife can't win it. Mine can't. My kids can't win it. But anyone outside of that is eligible just like anybody else. So
awesome.
And we'll, just like I said, we'll draw it out right here. And, hopefully we get a lot of you guys. It's a real simple thing. You have to tolerate us for 5 days straight, have a word of the day, and it's a $50 gas card. I mean, granted, that's not as much gas as it used to be, but that certainly helps an awful lot.
It helps an awful lot.
All right, so let's talk about some sporting stuff. So today we have middle school baseball, middle school softball. They're playing Monadnock at home, and that's at 4 o'clock. I went to the girls' softball game on Friday. So Lydia was playing, obviously, until she broke her ankle. But so went to watch Paige play, and they did really well. They beat the Charlestown team. I'm not sure the exact score, but it might have been like 15 to 2 or 3 or something like that. They did really good, so really proud of you girls. And then 2 of those girls ran the 5K. One of them was in front of us most of the way, and the other one decided she wanted to get a better time and took off, and then she kind of came back and ran with her friends, so that was pretty cool.
After she crossed the finish line.
After she crossed the finish line, she came back, so that was cool. So shout out to those. And also I wanted to mention this, and I forgot about it, but shout out to all the kids that participated in this. I know Eric Wilkinson, Timmy Fratzel, I think was the first Newport student to get finish first for the kids. Then there's a bunch of them. I don't even know all their names, but there's a bunch of them. Miss Collison ran.
Yeah. I think she beat us.
She did beat us. She beat us by I think quite a bit too. So that was off. That was really cool to see.
Zeta ran it. Emilio ran
Your
it.
daughter, yeah, Emilio, did really well. I don't remember if it was I think it was like 27 minutes or something like that. And he's not a runner. He's a football player, but he's not a runner, and he's playing baseball now. And your daughter, she's doing track, but she did great too.
Yeah, she doesn't run distance. She does.
Right. Most of these kids, besides Timmy, I think because Timmy does like the 1600 or something
I
like
saw
that.
him warming up for the relay because when you were at the softball game, I was at the middle school softball game. I was
Yep.
at the track meet in Claremont, and that was a large meet with some fast young men and women.
That's awesome.
It
I
was,
love
it was impressive, but I got to watch those two guys that ran, Timmy Fratzel, and I can't remember.
Was it Eric? Eric?
Yeah, it was Eric.
I know
So I
Eric
was
was a
watching them
fucker.
practice their handoffs, and
Yep.
they're just so fast.
Maybe someday we could be fast.
We can. We just got to train.
We'll never be that fast, but we could be fast.
We got to train like we got to put up my Farming Fridays videos
Yes.
that I've been talking about. So we can't
We will
talk
get
about
those.
training.
We will get those up. So then varsity softball is gonna be at Lebanon, 4 o'clock. They won Interlakes. I think it was 16-0 on Friday.
So they're still undefeated?
So they're still undefeated. So awesome,
That's
awesome
great.
job, girls. Tonight, Car Nuts gonna be 6 o'clock. Sugar River parking lot, behind the bank. We're gonna go down and check that out. Walk around, probably bring the camera down, and maybe we can check out some of these cars and
Be some
trucks and
Hot rods there?
yeah. Oh yeah, there's always hot rods, and all kinds of things.
But hot rod is the word of the day.
Oh, all right. There we go. Word of the day is hot rod. That's perfect. Good thinking.
Right in line with the car nuts tonight at 6 o'clock.
Awesome. So you can come to see hot rods at the Car Nut Show tonight. It's free to get in, by the way. And usually they have a food truck there or something.
Nice.
So there'll be food. I think they're doing it once a month. I still haven't looked into that, but I believe the next one was June when I was looking through the event schedule before we started doing the show. Come out, check it out. So write that down, or text that to, or message it to us, Facebook or email. Hot Rod, that is Monday show, word of the day. So we'll have 4 more for you as the week goes on. Now we want to talk about something very interesting. Croydon had their big vote on Saturday.
Yeah, we
And
talked about it last week a little bit.
We
Give a
did. We
little-
talked about it, and obviously it's been a real hot topic on the news. It actually made national news, which is pretty crazy. But so they needed 283 people to be a legal vote, and they passed it 377-2.
So they had enough show up to overturn.
They had way over what
the
they needed to
previous
show up.
budget.
Yes. So hopefully this will be, well, first of all, great job, all the residents of Croydon, to show up and make this happen, because this needed to happen. I don't have a problem with trying to cut a budget, trying to save tax money, but you have to do it in a way that's going to still provide your children with education. And just shout out to all the Croydon residents that showed up, and I think that's quite the example, and they really told the rest of the people in town that voted to do this originally what they really thought of
Well,
them.
the
So,
lesson is the first group that had voted to cut it, whether or not you agree or disagree with it, they executed their rights, and
Right.
they did what they wanted to do within
Right.
the bounds of the laws that are set, and so also as a side, you got a lot of participation. Because maybe, as we talked about last week, apathy, don't be apathetic, go out and participate. Doesn't matter if you agree with either one of us or disagree.
Right.
Just go out and have your voice heard. Because if you don't go out, no matter what your thoughts are, no one's going to know unless you're there to vote.
well, exactly. And I mean, we need something like this to happen in Newport, in the sense of people showing up. Show up. School board meeting is this Thursday, 5 o'clock, with Thompson Room. Show up. Like I said, I see stuff on Facebook all the time. I hear from parents all the time. Like, show up. It doesn't matter if you have something negative to say, positive to say. Just show up and show the school.
Or just sit there and listen.
Or
and
just
see-
sit there and listen.
And maybe you don't have anything to say this time, but
Right.
next month you might have something to say, or you might think about something.
Right, and
You might
get
have a good idea that no one around the table is sitting there thinking about or talking about.
exactly. Just it's all about being involved and knowing what's going on, and so that something like what happened in Croydon never happens in your town, wherever your town is, because it can. It's really simple, right? If you don't get involved, which obviously, they had 34 people show up for the school board, for the school meeting, the budget meeting there in Croydon, and now look, you had 379 people show up for this big special one, because now it's like, oh, we have to do something to fix this, and don't let it get to that point. Like, show up to voting day.
Right. Have these hard discussions and then work on the budget together before the day of voting. And then, life happens. Not everybody can show up, but if you're an active participant,
Right.
and then at least you know what's going on and you can try to influence it how you want it to be and be an active member in the community. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone cares what I think.
I know, but it's like so many, and I always look back at like how many people have fought and died for the freedom that we have, that is voting, and all our freedoms. But people literally sacrificed their lives, and then people sacrificed their actual lives, like everything, so that you could be free. Do your part. Go out and vote.
Don't sit around and watch TV.
Right.
Read books, watch TV, but also get out in town, participate, and talk to people, get to know everybody.
It's crazy, like, because since I'll talk about something really crazy. So I was thinking, and I said to you Saturday, we're wearing our pink tutus, and I had your little pink mask on my head, and I was like, do you realize that 95%, I think it's kind of fair, 95% of the people there have no clue why we were wearing pink tutus. They just thought we were
they all had
weird
people. Like, the tutu guys.
But, the nice thing, like, for the show and stuff, like, we've had all kinds of conversations with a lot of different people that, maybe we wouldn't necessarily have had conversations with in the past. And it's been great, because it's everybody, like, having a conversation about, no matter whatever it is, having a conversation with someone that you're not used to speaking with. They could tell you something like, hell, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that, well, this is going on. Oh, I'm interested. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get out and socialize with your, people. Like, COVID's done, whatever. Get out, talk to people.
For now.
Yeah. Let's not go there. This should be a really long show.
No. We got a strict schedule to stick to.
We did. But, like, we had a good conversation with Gunther Hubert, who is above 60. He was above between the 60 and 69 class, and I'm pretty sure he's close to 60 though. He's not on the other end of things, and he also beat us by a lot.
Yeah, it was a good conversation when we were sitting there talking.
We had a great conversation with him, and it was.
He's an active member of the community. I've seen him at school board meetings. I've seen him out and about in town. I've seen him at the deliberative sessions. He's an active participant, and he's a business owner.
Yeah. Well, previous business owner. But yes,
owner, yeah.
Exactly. Him and his wife Kathy had been at the last couple of meetings talking about school funding and all these different things, and we had a great conversation with him. We're actually talking about, he has a nice view of Mount Sunapee, and so I have land just up, I don't know, what is it, like 3 or 4 lots up from his house. So I drive by his house all the time, and we were talking about, like, he has a nice view, and of course we're talking about the view tax, which
ridiculous.
Is completely ridiculous. Like, he has a nice view and has to pay more money because he has a view and I don't have a view, and I don't have to pay money, and I just think that's completely
so anybody who has a view of Sunapee has to pay a tax. Or
not just Sunapee, any
like
view that looks
like a view
nice.
That the assessor is like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. So he has a beautiful view of Mount Sunapee. If I cut some trees down, I probably almost could see it, but I'm not interested because I know, like, it would make my taxes higher, which I don't need to see Mount Sunapee. I'm cool. I'm happy the way I am. But when we talk, like, you're like, hey, I could cut some trees down, almost see it. And I'm like, don't do it. Your taxes are going to go up, and there's no.
I could thin it out and have a beautiful
yes.
year-round view. Because in the wintertime, you can kind of see it on a clear day.
Right.
You can see through without all the leaves. But yeah, I don't want to pay a large portion of taxes because I bought property that has a nice view.
I still haven't figured that one out. And actually, like, the state got sued over that because it's double taxation. So whoever owns the property that you're looking at is paying taxes on it, but then you have to pay taxes because you can see it. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Sounds like robbery to me.
Yeah, very much. And New Hampshire's the only place I've ever heard of a view tax. Like, it's not like that in Vermont. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a lot of beautiful views in Vermont, but Yeah, so we were talking about that a little bit, and
Yeah, this is interesting conversation.
yeah, it was just a random conversation, and we were talking about the view tax a little bit, and yeah, it's just nuts. But and then you're like, well, you got a little pond, and don't don't cut a tree down to see it though, because they'll charge you for it. Probably.
You can see your pond, so give me more money.
Speaking of,
Well, kinda. We kind of diverted there. I can bring it back though. So we went from Croydon showing up, being active participants. We had great conversations with more, with people at the race,
yes,
and so tying that back in tomorrow.
yes, voting day. Tomorrow is voting day, May 10th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the high school in the gym. There's no school that day for the kids. And they're doing like a professional teacher day. They're taking advantage of the day off that the teachers are. But show up and vote. No matter what you vote, if you're against the rec center, if you're for the rec center, uh, everyone needs to vote for Article 9 for sure. That's the police contracts. There's another article on there for the fire department. Some people weren't happy because the way it went through, it didn't go through the process or whatever. So it was a petition one. But there is one also on there for the fire department to change up their schedule so they can have two guys on at a time instead of having one. I didn't really get a great explanation. It made sense. But at the end of the day, like, hey, they think this is going to be better than, and they're the ones that do this
They're
every
the
day. So
experts,
I don't know nothing. I'm like, hey, so there's a lot of articles on there that look at, some of it's real simple, like voting for the budget. It's real simple. If you don't vote and say, if you vote no, you don't approve the budget, it's 2 cents higher than the default budget this year.
I always look at that also.
It's so weird,
It
isn't it?
seems that it's almost like a setup. Every time since I've lived here for 4 years, it's like, well, if you don't vote yes, then it's going to increase by 8 cents. Like, what? How does that happen?
I know. Somehow, for
It's
the
not
last,
just for the town. That was like that.
yeah,
uh,
it's weird sometimes how the default budget would be actually. It's like
It's higher.
yeah,
than
it's higher. So
the
this
newer
year
budget.
we're proposing a
I
budget.
mean, I understand. It just to me it almost seems like they force you to vote for the current budget because
Right.
somehow it's just slightly less than if you vote no. I don't know. It's just
The other thing I saw too about the rec center is, so you would have no tax impact until 2024. In between now and 2024, I guess there's some other bonds that we've been paying for because they're 20-year bonds that are actually going to drop off. They're going to be paid for. So it sounded like, yeah, it could be up to a 74 cent impact on your taxes per thousand, which we talked before. If it's $230,000 house, it's about $178, I believe we said. So there could be some of those that are going to drop that actually could affect it. I wish we had a little more of a like spreadsheet so we could actually, people could see that, like, hey, but at the end of the day, most of us can afford another, $170, or like I said, if your house is assessed at less, it's not as much. But we're looking at 230 was the kind of median according to Zillow or whatever we went on. But either way, whatever your opinion is, we've talked. We obviously support it. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Just get out and vote. That's what we want. We want people to show up and vote.
just participate.
Participate.
And that way, it's even easier for the selectmen to see what the temperature is for that in the town because
Exactly.
we don't get a high turnout. It's kind of if it's the same 1,200 people voting all the time when there's probably 4,000 to 5,000 of us eligible to vote. 4,000, I'd say, maybe three. We'll go on the low end, 3,500.
Well, no, because we only got like 1,000 kids in school, 6,500 in the town. So you have, I'd say, almost 5,000.
Roughly, yeah, somewhere
Roughly,
between 3,500
roughly.
to 5,000
Somewhere in there.
should be showing up to vote. Now,
Right.
I get it. Some people can't show up because of work and
Right. But that's a
whatever,
big
but
window too. Like I know
it
your
is a
wife.
big window.
Your wife.
If you commute
she's-
far,
Yes. Yeah. So some of you can't, but most
she's gonna
people
do her
can
best
show.
to make it back.
Right. She's gonna try to and like go out of her way to like, hey, let's show up and vote. And so there's 2 selectman positions open. Jeff Kessler is running for re-election. Jim Burrows and Doug Ringer are running. They're new, and they got their name in the hat. So 2 out of the 3 will be elected. 1 will not.
So make sure you vote for 2.
Yes, make sure you vote for 2, not just one. You have 2 choices. You have 3 choices, but you only can choose 2.
Right.
Because we talked about that because of the school board. There was like 300 people that only voted for 1, which I thought was kind of odd. And I was like, well, maybe it's
Or they didn't
because,
like the rest of us.
right. Whatever.
It's their
So
statement.
get out, vote tomorrow. Yeah, let's have a good record turnout. And I'm eager to see what happens. Like I said, hoping it'll pass.
Yeah, there's
Like,
some emotions with.
there's a lot of emotions with it, and it's very interesting because someone on Facebook had a picture of like 6 flyers I think they've gotten, and then there's signs everywhere. And so I was really worried. Like I'm like I didn't think it'd be really close. I think it's going to get turned down. But then the more time's gone on and there's more flyers and more all this stuff, I'm like, hey, I think this is going to be pretty close. So I mean, if you support it and you're like, oh, I'll try to get there. Like, listen, it's going to need everyone's support. We need as many numbers because it's a bond vote, so you have to have 60%. So it's not just a 50%; you have to have 60% or 2/3 or something like that majority. So just like the tech center. So either way, get out and vote, do your civic duty, and it's gonna be beautiful all week. That's one thing. Finally, like we don't normally.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Weather's not something we ever really want to talk about because who
Well, it
cares?
seems like it's gonna go from winter, spring to summer in a matter of 4 days.
Yeah, it's looking like Friday it was like 81, but it's going to be mid to high 70s most of the week. So get out, enjoy the beautiful weather. That should help everybody.
Get some exercise, prep up for the next 5K.
Yeah, we're gonna start running up and down your driveway once I can actually walk up and down these stairs without being in pain. Because the last couple days it's been rough.
Yeah, I was worried about. I was sore last night.
Yeah. So the night of the race on Saturday, we're messaging back and forth. I'm like, dude, you have a hot tub. Really, really need your hot tub. So he's like, yeah, come on up. So me and Andrew came up, got in a hot tub for a little bit, felt a little better. Got up Sunday morning and oh man, like it hurt. Like my shins hurt. Like everything hurts. My sides hurt. And then even today, like I'm still hurting. I'm like, oh my goodness. But once I'm actually feeling a little better, we have to start training because we have to do better. I want to. Do I ever think we could beat Chief? No, it's not possible.
No, but we can get down.
But we
into the
could
20
beat his.
minutes, I bet.
Yeah, I think we can get around that under 30 easy. Now
with that hill though, that's gonna take actually running some hills though.
Yeah. Well, your drive is really hilly. Well, it's just like one big hill. So if we can do that for a little while, we'll do better. He said he's going to do the next 5K, provided the wings and wheels thing doesn't interfere with that, because obviously he probably has, he
Right.
would be there as he's, police chief. So, yeah, I think I didn't think he'd do quite as well, but he did tell us 17, 18 minutes. So
And that was after he ran a 3-mile warm up.
oh yeah, he goes and runs a 3-mile warm up, and everyone's like, "Oh, where's the chief?" I'm like, he's running a 3-mile warm up. The 5K is 3.1 miles. He's gonna do that first.
Seconds.
Yeah, we stretched for a few minutes. I got up at 6:30 to go to breakfast over in New London with Alicia because I originally said, "Hey, let's go to lunch this weekend," and she's like, "Let's do breakfast." And so we went over to Tucker's, which I know you guys have been there, and she's been there a few times. And that food was amazing.
Yeah, it's very good.
We roll in at 7:30. There was like maybe 5 or 6 tables free. I'm like, what are these people doing? Like I usually
You gotta get there early. So you don't have to
apparently
wait.
all these people are up early. I'm like, I normally be sleeping still until like 7:30, and here we are. This place is packed, and so definitely if you're in London, especially morning, like check out. I got a eggs Benedict. It was so good, and
That's what Nikki always gets. So
yeah.
not always, but that's her go-to.
yeah, it was so good. I was very impressed. It was really good food, and then Sunday Mother's Day we did a little barbecue. You and Nikki came over.
Appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. And we did burgers and dogs and salads from Leo's, and my grandparents come over, and it was a good time. My mom had some other stuff she was doing. She runs bingo in Claremont, so she wasn't able. But I told her, all right, we'll have to have a barbecue some point here during the week. But and then Sunday night we stopped at Dad's. I think it's Dad's still, the place there.
Oh, nice.
The old 50. Yeah.
The diner.
Yeah, we stopped there and just got ice cream. It was open, and so I was like, "Hey, let's get ice cream," because the girls had come up to get money from me so they could go get ice cream. And me and Andrew are like putting fence up for the cows. We're trying to move the cows over and trying to put some concrete behind the barn. And so the girls show up and like, listen, you want money? And I'm out there, I'm like, working. Andrew's working. The baby's up there playing around, And like, you're gonna have to get out of the car. I'm not bringing this to you. So you think Danielle, my daughter, would get out of the car? No, Lydia with the broken ankle gets out of the car to come over and get the money to go. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So
Kids these days.
I know. And then you would help me Sunday morning. We went and got some fencing over to Runnings, and Andrew was like, "Hey, we need propane for the grill." And of course, she's been telling me this for probably a month now. I mean, I think she was like a little paranoid about it because it was like we have a little gauge thing that I don't know, weighs it or something. And I was like, it's got a quarter left, but I'm like, I better stop because if I'm cooking and it goes out, I'm in so much trouble, especially on Mother's Day. So we stopped, got propane, and went to T-Bird. And then gas was $4.15 for regular gas, nothing special, just the normal stuff. And diesel is $6.19.
That's ridiculous.
I couldn't.
What's the explanation this week?
I don't know, but it's like
they eased it by tapping in the reserves a couple of weeks ago, so we saw a slight dip in prices, and now they've skyrocketed back up to where above where they were before they tapped into the reserves, allegedly.
Right. Jessica from Twin State Paving, once again, thanks to Twin State Paving for sponsoring this craziness. But she was saying on Facebook, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, she was like, diesel jumped $1 overnight, like $1. That never happens. Like that never happens. So it's like, it doesn't make sense. And first of all, why is diesel costs more than gas? Because like when I was a kid, it was less than gas because it's less refined. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It should be cheaper. It already should be cheaper. So it's like, I don't know. They're just putting it to us. It's just ridiculous.
Now, I wonder if it's a tax because it's less refined. You're polluting more. Is that? I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. Like
I'm guessing based of all the rhetoric I've heard.
I don't know. Like on road diesel is well the $6.19, and then off road it's usually 50 cents maybe a gallon less, but you can't use it in your vehicle. If you get pulled over, you get in a lot of trouble. But like using the excavator, the tractor, and stuff like that. And it is less refined. So regular diesel goes in your your truck, or if you have a car or whatever that has a diesel engine, is like 15 parts per million or less, and then off road is higher. I don't know what it is, but it's ridiculous. I mean,
it's ridiculous the crunch that we're facing at the pump.
I know.
Grocery store prices are increasing.
I know. I really could go for a mean tweet right now over getting robbed at the gas station every time I go.
That's ridiculous.
It is. And there's nothing we can do about it right now. So, except if this November, get out and vote. Somebody new, preferably, has a name on the ballot that you've ever seen before. Because at this point, I would take anyone that's not new. Or anyone that's new that hasn't been there, forever.
Just get some fresh eyes and ears and not beholden to anyone.
I know. And think about car nuts tonight. These guys, like, none of those cars get good fuel mileage. No wonder they're doing it once a month. They can only afford to come out once in a while with your old car. I brought the bike to your house because I'm like, hey, this thing's a lot better on gas than my truck is, that's for sure.
Yeah, nice. I could tell when you were pulling up the driveway.
Oh, yeah, you know when I'm coming.
Tuck my shirt in, comb my hair. Just kidding.
All right, guys. So coming up right after the show, we'll have our clip from the. It's almost like 15 minutes. So we'll have
some highlights.
Highlights from the
some lowlights.
Lowlights. Anything with two guys in pink tutus is a low light. Highlight would be I'm going to call him Flash Gordon from now on. Chief Flash Gordon.
Well, it was interesting because he did have the bib.
That was so funny. I'm glad you mentioned that. So the wreck gave him it on purpose, and I didn't think of it at first. Like, 50, and he's like 5-0, and he was so excited about it. And he's so proud. He's like, look, 5-0.
Well, when I saw it, I said to myself, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, for a runner, he registered for this kind of late. If he was a 50th registrant, right?
So no, anyway, it was exactly.
The rec gave it to him, which is quite awesome. So not only did they give him the 5-0, not only did he accept our challenge, but not only did he win his age group, but he won the entire race.
He did.
That's our chief of police, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. And not that I'm keeping track, but I'm keeping track. So he showed up for the Green Up Day. He did the 5K. You showed up for the Green Up Day and the 5K. You're an elected official. He's an employee.
Well, I showed up as Stephen, the private citizen.
I know, but me as a taxpayer, I'm looking at it and seeing, I'm
And
looking
some of
around.
those, to be fair to everyone else, though, you are highly engaged, and I would not be out and about as much if I weren't doing this with you and if I hadn't have met you. Like, I
That's
just
true.
honestly, I'm not much of a social butterfly. I'm more of a. I
I
mean,
mean-
I'll talk to people. Don't get me wrong. But
And you did say, like, he was like, I'm not wearing a pink tutu. Guess what? He ordered the pink tutus.
I paid for them. I wore it. And I'll
You even
probably
ordered
never
the
live it
pink
down.
mask and the cape.
I left the cape in your truck. That would have been.
Oh, great.
Well, no, I mean before the race.
Oh,
so I
oh,
didn't have it on.
You
during
wouldn't
the
want a
race.
cape. That would have weighed us down even more. So the point of that whole conversation was, first of all, thank you so much, Chief Wilmot, for showing up for all this stuff. And I'm sure he'll be at the Wings and Wheels. And as far as I know, I think he's going to try to run that 5K too. So we'll have to, if he's going to run it, we'll have to throw another challenge out to him. But let's keep in mind how quick he is. And
Let's keep. Yes.
I think
he's-
because he said to me after, he's like, looks like I don't have to match this. And I'm thinking, dude, I think you sat there the whole time. You like played us like a fiddle.
That's good though. It's going. We raise money for a good cause.
Absolutely.
Again, appreciate all the donors.
And he was awesome. Like, seriously, a big shout out to Chief Wilmot because
Great sport.
he did. And he played along. We have some clips to show you guys that he played along with us. And not everyone would do that. You know what I'm saying? And so he's just got that personality, which is perfect for his position because he's approachable. And that's what you want as a police chief. You want someone that's approachable. And sometimes I feel like kids are, taught or whatever, or learn through media, whatever, like not to trust police officers and stuff. And you can very much trust police officers. That's what they're there for. They're there to help. And Chief Wilmot's a perfect example of that. And we're very fortunate to have him in town. Now that we've kissed his butt so much, we're going to have to rag on him when he comes in here.
Exactly.
But, all right, guys, thank you so much. Come out and see us tonight at Car Nuts. I should bring my truck. It's not expected, though. Chief could be there.
Chief could be there. We'll find.
Yeah.
We'll get you arrested. You won't get arrested, but we'll get you a ticket.
Maybe we'll tell him if he is there and he sees that, I'll be like, listen, before you come over and you see that sticker that's not legal, would you watch the show? Because we kissed your butt enough. like, come on, look the other way. It's just an inspection. It's registered at least. But no, so come out and see us tonight. Car Nuts, I think it's 6 to 8. Just be there at 6 o'clock because I think it goes 6 to 8 though.
You're driving through town, you see everybody gathering up. Just
Yeah,
stop by.
just
and-
stop in, see us, say hi. I'm sure Shannon Michael from the Chamber of Commerce will be there. The two guys that are on Steve Smith's show, and I can't, Wayne Boardman and, what's the other guy's name? Is it Ed? No, I can't remember. But they're the guys that run Car Nuts, and they do Steve's show once a week before Kevin gets on, and they're really funny. I like listening to them on the radio, but they put this whole thing on, and they usually have a lot of cars there. So come out, check out the cars. Remember, the word of the day is hot rod. Make sure you send that to us, and then get the other 4 words for this week and enter that for $50 gas card. I told you I was tired before we did this show. All right, guys, thank you so much for the Tim and Steve show. We'll see you tomorrow.
And two, Steve.
You gotta
You
have
gotta sit back.
You gotta sit.
We're going.
Just
Who's winning?
We're gonna get all tired.
Mine.
Are you a member of Minis in New Hampshire?
No, but we should be. They actually came and eat at our restaurant one time.
So we're doing this while Chief
Oh, yeah.
is doing
Yeah,
a
we,
3-mile warm up.
We're going to Minis
Yeah, she's running
Rendezvous
3
up
miles
in
right now.
Canada, at the end of this
We're
month.
stretching out our quads.
And then we're doing Minis Takes a Stage, which is from
Arms
Vermont
for
all the way to
3
South
minutes.
Carolina.
We've got about a
It's like
3-minute
5,000
stretch going.
So, yeah.
They do a bunch of events. Sit, sit, sit. have to look it up.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. No, I don't have my mini. I was gonna say I got cards, but I don't have it with me. But
I'll
yeah,
look it up right now.
Minis
Non-copyrighted.
of NH, I believe it's abbreviated. It's got a red, white, and blue like British flag
Okay.
and a little mini.
You guys are pretty.
But,
Good
yeah,
luck.
we'll have fun.
Thank
Fun
you so
stuff.
much.
Hey, you gonna join us today?
I'm walking.
Well, I'll be somewhere in between you and her.
Set, let's go.
Bust it up.
Okay, it's not really.
That.
Oh, good save.
All right. 2 seconds.
Makes a great video. Yeah, it does.
Splash water all over yourself, so you look like you're doing That's true. You were wondering where you were.
Good job. Nice work. Woo! Good job. Woo.
Oh no, he wasn't.
Woo, good job. Good job, Eric.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Princess Center.
I was going to let whoever have it.
Kids drive me nuts. Good job. Good job.
Good job.
the flat to go by. Nope.
All right, John.
What?
Way to go, Kevin.
Good job.
Results are under
Said you were hoping for what? 28?
27.
Well, I think
Exactly 25.
You've been running this? No.
Definitely.
Chuck runs with us.
Steven Reed.
Good job. Yeah, I'm happy.
Nothing to catch.
I wanted to be
Jack.
under 27, so I beat it. Good job. Good job, Tim.
25.
You were under 25?
No, I got 20.
Oh,
5
oh, 25. Nice. Well, I want.
Good job, guys. Good finish.
Nice job, guys. Keep walking around.
There goes Emilio.
Walk around, Johnny.
Come on, Emilio.
Go. Nice job. Finish strong. Great work.
Woohoo.
Nice job.
Good job, bud. Emilio. That's good time.
87.
Good job. Good job. Come on, puppy. Let's go, puppy. Woo! Good job. Good job. Good job.
They didn't do as bad as they thought they were gonna.
No, they did awesome.
Here they come.
Finish strong. Good job.
Good job. How long did it take? 31 minutes.
Waters and your times can be found under the blue
You guys did great.
Waters and snacks. Oh, sorry.
You're okay, hon.
Oh, crap.
Good job. Good finish.
23.
Good job. Good job. Good finish.
Break my ankle. I don't want to do that.
You can do it next year.
Yeah, I can't see it either. I'll ask.
33 and 59.
Good job. Woo!
Waters and the tent, and the blue tent, and your times are listed on electronically on the monitor. It is not. I can grab you one in a minute. Yep.
62. 66.
Good job. Good job. Woohoo! Good job.
Yep, it's on the monitor. Under the blue tent. Good job. Yep.
Second. 29.
Good job. Good job. Woo!
Nice finish. Nice job.
Good job. Good job. Woo!
Let's go, Shannon! Woo!
Oh, that was brutal.
Good
job. Good job. You did it. You did it. You did it.
That was brutal, wasn't
It's over. It's over.
Let's go, Zeta! Finish hard, Zeta! Woo! Give us a jump, Zeta! Woo!
time you did on the board.
Let's go, let's go! Woo! 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 Good hustle!
There's water and snacks under that booth over there.
Woohoo! Let's go, let's go, let's go! Good job! Woo!
Good job.
Woo! Good job!
Nice job, Andrew.
Here comes Taylor. That's the one that's in my head.
Woo!
Good job. Let's go, Haley.
Come on, finish hard, finish hard! Woo!
Good job.
Good job! Woo!
Good job. Here comes Aggie.
Nice finish, Robin. Good job.
Woohoo! Good job.
Let's go, Aggie! Finish hard!
Aggie.
Woo!
Go, Aggie.
8-0.
Nice job, Aggie.
Good job, Aggie! Woo!
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do this. It'd take me an hour.
Collison.
No, it really doesn't. Look out. Look out.
Let's go, let's go, let's go! Woo! Good job, Miss Collison!
Miss Collison.
Go, Gabby.
Come on, Gabby, finish strong. You got this.
Gabby.
Woo! Come on, come on.
Gabby.
Push, push, push.
You got this.
That's
Let's
it,
go, Gabby. Woo! Good job.
Either large or 2X.
Let's go! Woo!
Let's go down. Let's
Run hard, run hard!
go.
Come on, push harder than that. You gonna give him a
Put your mask on.
So should we cheer on JJ?
Yeah, Nikki.
Let's go, Nikki! Finish hard!
That's it. Woo! Come on, Nikki. That's it, Nikki. Come on, JJ's out of breath.
Let's go, Nikki!
What are you doing to me?
Come on, finish hard, Nikki! Finish hard! Woo! Come on, JJ!
Good job, puppy.
He's like, all right, I'm ready for my nap. He was getting tired. He wants to go into Lydia.
Come on, come on, come on! Woo!
Good job.
What time did you finish at?
27.
That's right.
Stop finish.
Warm up. Good job.
Good job! Woo!
And in first place, from Claremont, New Hampshire, with a blazing time of 17 minutes and 9 seconds, Brett Wilmot. And that was our overall fastest time today.
Oh, she's still.